Hi, my friend. It's Pat Sloan here. We have a lot today on day 3 of our tantalizing tabletoppers book tour. But let me do a few of the other things first. Then we'll do the book tour. Then we're going to do Sweet Dreams by you and you and you and you and you. So we have, that's our last one. Will be the third Sweet Dreams sort of gallery of quilt. It's awesome. Okay, so before we get to the book tour, there's a few, the days have fun things going on, and I put those on our calendar. I don't pick every one because any day you pick there's probably like 10 or 15 things, but today were 2 which are, I think, really fun. It's Sing It Out. It's a singing day. It's going to celebrate singing. So if you sing, go sing today to celebrate. I don't sing, but if there's a really loud place with karaoke that I can see the words and I already know the song, I might sing along. The other, it is celebrating Wine Day, and I love wine, white wine, and so I'll drink any wine if it's a really good wine, but I really prefer white and cold. So of course I will have a glass this evening, and cheers to all of you. And speaking of cheers, I want to say thank you to all of you for my Starbucks cards that you send. So this drink is on you and you and you. What else do we have? We have the Secret Lives of Color. There are just this color and one more in the red category, which we're doing this month. We're doing one category, a color category per month. And so what do we have? The red is Matter. So it's sort of a deep, deep red, really dark burgundy sort of red. So first let me show you my fabrics I picked. So I went hunting through, and this is an older French General fabric, which I thought was just perfect, and I paired it with pink. And here is my block. I'm on the medium size block for the shoe fly quilt. And there are all my blocks up there. Now I really should have done this in green, but you know, it's red. So, and it goes on the top here. So there's a whole lot of pink there. But I'm okay with that. It'll sort of balance out and you won't see it. So I definitely need to add a few more green in here when we start the next group. And then sprinkle a few of them, the blues, I mean the pinks down the row a bit. Okay, so the color Matter, it's kind of funny. I love her writing style because, you know, not everything is exciting, although some colors are very important. And so this particular color has been around since the Egyptian times, but it was all done from plants, like they all were. And all the cultures, all the countries were competing heavily to recreate these dyes synthetically, so that they didn't have to dig up, you know, a whole acre of roots for a tea drop of, you know, a teaspoon of dye to, you know, color all the coats of the army. So, you know, it was just very, very competitive. And the fellow that generated this synthetically, she talks about him giving a talk. It says the audience did not know it yet, but the lecture was being delivered to the Royal Society of the Arts in London on the evening of May 8th, 1879, and it was going to be a long one. Although the speaker was distinguished with an imposing full set of whiskers, he was neither naturally entertaining nor brief. So that cracks me up. You've been to those talks, right? Where the person is very, very talented, but they're just not a great speaker. So she's kind of outlining then how this dye, kind of its history, and then actually when this British gentleman was figuring this out, the Germans were right on his heels, and they were also developing a synthetic dye at the same time. And when this came into the market, it revolutionized the way things could be, fabrics and things could be dyed, paints and all of that. So it's an important color. Matter. It's not one that we say really, although I think there's a lot of colors like that. We tend to not give that sort of more richer, detailed word. Okay, so my blocks are all up there, and I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's really fun. I'm loving the whole concept of it. I can't wait to see it and think about like putting a border on it. I don't know. I think that would be really cool. All right, let's do we'll not do Sweet Dreams. We'll do that last. We're going to do the tantalizing tabletoppers. Yes, that's the word. Where's the book? Okay, so I have two guests today. And what I just realized, what I was thinking about this, is they are both international guests, but one lives in the U.S. now, and they are both award-winning quilt makers. So I thought that was just super cool. I don't know if you enter quilts in competition, but that is like a whole thing. And both of these friends of mine are have had ribbons for their quilts. For this to Carolina Asmussen first. So Carolina, when I first met her, she was living in Switzerland. She and her family were living there, and I interviewed her the one time for my podcast, and we talked a little bit about quilting in Switzerland, which is minimal. There aren't very many quilters in Switzerland, but now her husband's job brought them to the United States, and so she is living here. But Carolina is supremely generous. When I broke both my wrists, when I did that and I broke both my wrists, we were doing a lot of projects just like we are now, and Carolina was on one of those projects with me. She was one of the people on the project, and she wrote me and said, send me your fabric. I will make the next few blocks for you, because it was like a monthly thing. And so she did like 3 months worth for me, 3 blocks, one for each month. And I'm forever grateful for those friends who all stepped up to help me sew and get through. I had about 3 months when I broke both my wrists, I was pretty non-functioning as far as making anything. As far as doing much of anything, really. So Carolina's work, she is a machine quilt, a long armor, and she does amazing long arming. She has rulers, she does classes and talks, and you can access her things via her website and take a look at what she's got going on. She also does sew-alongs that you can join in on. So you've got to get over there and start following Carolina. Okay, the next one is my buddy Jane Davidson from Australia. Jane and I, we actually connected via a sew-along. She was hosting one, I don't know I think it was called like the Desperate Housewives of Quilting or something like that. And so she needed people to make a block, and like every week or something for 3 or 4 months, there were all these blocks. And so I was one of them. And after that, we just started chatting, and we've met each other in person several times. We've been to the trade shows together, so that has been fantastic. One of the things that Jane and I we have very different styles. She is extraordinary. Her quilting patterns are just amazing, and so you will really want to follow her to see such a level of design. But we also kind of like a lot of the same things, and so when I had an idea, which became the Splendid Sampler books, I wrote to Jane first before I told anybody else. And I said, I have this idea to do something with a lot of people. Would you be interested in doing it with me, helping me run it? And she just right away said yes, which I was hoping she would. And so we have been friends for a very long time. So you'll want to go visit both of them today. Okay, let's take a look at the Sweet Dreams. Yes, let's see what you all have been doing. This is our third gallery, and it's just been awesome. Allison is using the Words to Live By fabric, which is the same thing from the kit that I have. You can see the panel she used in the middle with the butterfly. It looks so fabulous. Love the blue as the settings. Barbara has a wonderful line with reds and charcoal and that corally peachy with pops of green. Oh, there's a little bit of stripe in there too. Carolyn's is beautiful with blue and yellow, so classic blue and yellow. And look at her outer border. That's a sort of a slanted piano key, which I'm sure has a name, but I don't know what it is. Chrissy's is pretty in pink. She's got pink with a green dot, I think it is there. That looks really, really nice. I love it. Debbie's, now I don't think we saw this one with the teacups, but she has a teacup fabric, and I love that shade of green. Oh, that's sort of vintagey looking. Diane's is blue and yellow, but look how different. So different. It's got a darker blue, but that's still that sort of classic look of blue and yellow. Edie is wonderful. I think it's like a turquoisey light blue. There's pops of salmon in there. I think it's wonderful. Heather's, it's nice and cozy. It's got that stained glass look hanging up there on the line. But can you see how she used that sort of dark print in a lot of the background? So effective. So if you're wondering how that would look, here it is. Jan's is gorgeous with all the aqua, dark aqua, light aqua, and then pops of green all around. Jan's green accent is the grass. But she did too. Look at this. Ah, how incredible. They are so cool. It is interesting to see them actually sitting side by side. Janet is done. Quilted, binding, done. Purple and accents of red. There's some butterflies in that top middle block. They look wonderful. Jenny's is just, look how soft and beautiful this is. All these very, very light blues with a little bit darker blue. That border really sets the tone for the whole thing. If she had chosen a darker border, it would have a much darker feel than this. Your borders make a huge difference in how the whole quilt ends up looking. Ah, so pretty. Joyce, I believe, used the same fabric I did, so the Moonstone, and just her color placements are fabulous. I think she has a lot more of the dark in it in the blocks than I did, which I love. Judith's is purple, and look at the butterfly fabric. You can see it in some of the blocks. She didn't overdo that. She kept it really minimal, and then it's just really effective in this middle border area. Kim's, look at Kim's. She did fussy cutting. You see it in the middle. See the middle block with that floral that's fussy cut? She put that in several of the other blocks. This is a great fabric line. Really nice. Laura's is very classic and a lot of gray with a little bit of yellow and some cream. Leslie's is very light and springy. This looks like a spring quilt. Beautiful pink gingham everywhere. That is, and then there's a really nice print for the inside border there with the half square triangles. You can see that print. Linda's, she did a totally different take. She went and used the some of the blocks from Happy Everything and took some of the blocks from this So Long of Sweet Dreams and then combined them with a setting. And it's quilted and it's got binding. Yes. Was this one's from Lise. She's got just a beautiful border that just accents so well everything inside. I love that pops of orange and yellow with the purple. It's just fabulous. Mandy's, once again, look how effective she used that same fabric in the background. So it looks like the blocks actually float on top of here. That is such a cool effect. Great job. Marilyn's is another beautiful. These look like Civil War reproduction fabrics. This is just amazing. So, and I love the red throughout. Red, red, everything red. Marilyn's has, she has some pops of red too. It looks like a lot of batiks in here. I'm not sure it's all batiks, but it is just beautiful. Mary's is, this is my bird song. Mary was able to get it when Hen and Chick Studio, when they interviewed me, they were able to get a little bit of the fabric and to sell at that time when I did the interview. And so Mary picked it up and she was sewing with it for our Sweet Dreams. So it looks so cool. Melody has a beautiful, beautiful version, and she's got some good novelty prints in here. There's some ducks in several of the blocks. You've got like landscapey. I see a moose, couple of moose. That is a really neat way to use it. There's a deer in the middle of the one block in the center. Paula's is, oh, look at these stripes. I love where she put the stripes. Look in the borders and around on the outside edges. I love the colors of this, a kind of pinky purple. Very cool. Only a couple more. Regina's is pink, lots of pink, and I really, really love it. She's got some great prints that have a lot of motion and movement to them, and then I like how she did the outer corners so that the frame, they're the same as the border then, and that gives it the whole piece sort of this nice oval look. Terry's is gorgeous with a very light gray, a little bit of pops of darker gray, and the yellow. This is really nice. And last, we're going to look at Trisha. Just as this looks summery to me, very summery, looks like sherbet. Different colors of sherbet, orange sherbet, lemon sherbet, raspberry sherbet, my favorite. I really like it. And look at her four corners. She did a split block on them. That's really cool. It's just fantastic. Great job, everybody. Incredible work. I really think, now tell me in the comments, but because I've been showing these galleries, has that motivated some of you to get your sweet dreams done and share it? I think maybe it has. It seems like I've had more of you sort of pushing yourself to go ahead and finish that quilt top. You know, most of you have a top. So I think I'm going to continue doing this. Whenever we sort of do a finish of a project, I'll wrap up and have some sort of a gallery for a few different weeks of your quilts. Also, I want to show you this one. This is a peek of the one that Kimberly Jolly sewed along on. Remember, she had like a limited number of fabrics for hers. It's just awesome. We're going to auction this, and I'll give you details and a full picture of it when we get it all organized, but Kimberly's going to auction it off. So one of you could own this beautiful quilt, which has got like a sort of summery, even Americana feel to it. All right, you have your Secret Lives of Color, second to the last red block, and go visit all of my friends. Go visit Carolina and go visit Jane for the Tantalizing Tabletoppers tour. I love you. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online. Mwah, mwah.